Help me hit 7,000 subscribers. Support the video with a like and share your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. Thank you. I didn't expect betrayal to be loud. I thought it would come with shouting, broken glasses, maybe a dramatic accusation. Instead, it arrived quietly, disguised as music, laughter, and champagne bubbles popping somewhere behind me. My name is Milo Harper, and the night my engagement ended started as a celebration meant to mark the beginning of forever. Eliza wanted the party. Not a small dinner, not something intimate. A full engagement party with friends from work, old college buddies, cousins I barely knew, and music loud enough to make everyone feel closer than they actually were. She said it was about joy, about sharing happiness. I believed her because for 2 years I believed everything she said. Eliza was radiant that night. Soft blue dress, hair pinned just enough to look effortless, smile bright and practiced. People kept telling me how lucky I was. I nodded, raised my glass, played the role of the man who had already won life. If this story is already making you feel something, please take a moment to like it so it can reach others who might need to hear it too. My best friend Rowan Clark arrived late. He always did. That was part of his charm, apparently. Rowan had been my closest friend since university. We survived bad apartments, worse jobs, and long nights talking about everything we thought adulthood would be. He was the one who helped me pick out Eliza's ring. The one who told me, "She's the real thing, mate. Don't mess this up." The party moved the way parties always do. People drifted. Conversations overlapped. Music got louder as the night went on. I stepped away at one point to take a call from my sister, who couldn't make it. Couldn't have been more than 5 minutes. When I came back, I noticed Eliza wasn't where I'd left her. I scanned the room, smiling automatically at people who raised their glasses at me. That's when I saw them near the kitchen island. Rowan leaning in, Eliza laughing, one hand on his chest. Too close, too familiar. I told myself I was imagining it. That jealousy was an ugly instinct and I didn't want to be that man. Then Eliza tilted her head, and Rowan kissed her. Not a drunken accident. Not a quick peck. A kiss that lingered long enough for me to register the way her fingers curled into his jacket. Long enough for the room to keep spinning while everything inside me went perfectly still. Pause here for a second. What would you have done in that moment? Let me know in the comments. I don't remember walking toward them, but suddenly I was there. Rowan saw me first. His face drained of color. Eliza pulled back slowly, like time itself had thickened around her. "Milo," she started. I didn't shout. I didn't ask for explanations. I didn't demand answers I already knew would insult me. I looked at Rowan, my best friend, and realized something simple and devastating. Loyalty isn't measured by history. It's measured by choices. I turned to Eliza. Her eyes were glossy, pleading already forming on her lips. That look used to undo me. That night it didn't. If you're still reading, type the word respect in the comments. Not for me, but for yourself. I walked back into the living room. The noise felt wrong now, like laughter playing over a funeral. I reached the table where the gifts were stacked neatly with bows and handwritten cards. I slipped the ring off my finger. The weight of it surprised me even then. I placed it gently on the table. No announcement, no scene, just a quiet ending. I grabbed my coat and headed for the door. Behind me, I heard Eliza call my name. I didn't turn around. Some doors don't deserve a second glance. Outside, the night air was sharp and honest. It didn't lie to me the way people had. I sat in my car for a long time without starting it, letting the reality settle. If you believe this story could help someone who's ignoring red flags, please share it thoughtfully. You never know who might need it. I drove home alone. No texts, no calls, just silence and a strange sense of relief I wasn't ready to understand yet. Before the next part, I want to hear from you again. Do you think walking away without confrontation is strength or avoidance? Share your thoughts in the comments. And finally, if you want stories that explore self-respect, betrayal, and the quiet moments that change lives, like this video, leave your honest thoughts below and subscribe, because some lessons are easier to learn through someone else's story. I didn't sleep that night, Not because I was replaying the kiss, but because my mind kept circling a harder question. How long had I been ignoring what was right in front of me? The next morning, my phone was heavy with messages. Eliza first, then Rowan, then mutual friends who didn't know what to say but felt obligated to say something anyway. I didn't open any of them. Silence felt cleaner. Honest. I made coffee and stood by the window of my apartment, watching people walk their dogs, jog past with headphones in, live entire lives that had nothing to do with the wreckage I was standing in. There was something grounding about that. The world hadn't ended. It had simply shifted. Around noon, Rowan showed up at my door. I knew it was him before I opened it. He always knocked twice, paused, then once more like he was giving people time to change their mind. I didn't change mine. "You don't get to explain," I said before he could speak. He nodded, eyes red, jaw tight. "I know. I just needed to see you." I looked at him properly then. The guy I'd trusted with my worst moments. The guy who stood beside me when I proposed. Whatever he was now, he wasn't my friend anymore. "You didn't make a mistake," I said calmly. "You made a decision." He swallowed. "It didn't mean anything." "That's worse," I replied, and I closed the door. That afternoon, I finally read Eliza's messages. They were long, emotional, apologetic in tone but not in substance. She kept saying she was confused, that it was a moment, that she loved me, but love doesn't look like that. Love doesn't humiliate you in a room full of people who are supposed to celebrate you. 2 days later, we met to talk. Neutral ground. A cafe neither of us had memories in. She cried. I listened. I didn't interrupt. I didn't comfort her either. "I never meant to hurt you," she said. "I believe you," I answered. "But intent doesn't erase impact." She asked if there was any way back. I told her no. Not because I hated her, but because trust, once shattered publicly, doesn't quietly rebuild in private. Walking away didn't make me strong overnight. It made me lonely. It made me doubt myself. There were moments I missed her laugh, her routines, even her flaws. But I never missed the version of myself who would have stayed. Weeks passed. The story spread the way stories always do, distorted by sympathy and speculation. Some people said I overreacted. Others called me dramatic. A few told me I was brave. None of it mattered. What mattered was this quiet realization that formed one evening as I cooked dinner alone. I wasn't shrinking anymore. I wasn't explaining myself. I wasn't negotiating my dignity. I returned the ring to the jeweler a month later. Watching it disappear behind the counter felt like closing a chapter I'd outgrown. I used the refund to book a short trip along the coast. No agenda, no company, just space. Standing by the ocean one morning, wind sharp against my face, I understood something I wish I'd learned earlier. Betrayal doesn't always come to destroy you. Sometimes it comes to redirect you. Eliza wasn't a villain. Rowan wasn't a monster. They were simply people who showed me clearly and finally where I stood. And once you see that, staying becomes a choice. Leaving becomes self-respect. I don't tell this story for sympathy. I tell it because too many people mistake endurance for loyalty and silence for maturity. Walking away doesn't mean you failed. Sometimes it means you finally listened. The ring stayed on the table that night for a reason. It wasn't an act of anger. It was a boundary. And I've learned something since then. The right people never ask you to abandon yourself to keep them. That's the kind of ending no party could ever celebrate. But it's the one that lasts.